Hey there. So I've been thinking a lot about the developer onboarding experience recently because I'm working with a client who is doing a complete domain model overhaul of both their API and the corresponding web app. So it's been a fabulous opportunity to think about how to revamp the existing in-app tutorial and getting started guides and quick starts and all these supporting materials. And I've come across a couple of examples I wanted to share in my research, both of which are good, but one of which is kind of really exciting and unusual. So I'll show you the thing that got me most excited first, which is the onboarding experience for Docker desktop in a command line interface context. So I have used to work with Docker just through the command line, but recently I started using Docker desktop. And when I downloaded it, the first thing it gave me was this getting started little app thing. And by the way, one thing I really like about this is that you can recover it at any time if you're running Docker and you click learn, it will take you to this experience even if you've done it a million times. So it's nice, it's recoverable, a point in its favor already. Another point in its favor, I haven't had to sign in to get this experience, which is nice, so I don't have to create an account or log in. I can also skip this tutorial, and it's only 2 minutes. Okay, I'm willing to try it. So this is what I think is so cool. It's giving me an interface that connects me to the terminal of my local machine so that if I just click this, boom, it's copied the instruction into my terminal and already giving me some feedback that I've done this tutorial before, so I can't run it right now without removing that directory. So let's see, where is it? Is this an interactive terminal? Yeah, see, it's like a total, real thing. So let's just remove. Yes. Yeah. I wish that they had kind of like just reset this for me without making me do all this, but let's see if I have permissions to do this stuff. I also noticed that like my screen is overflowing, so that's not super ideal, but still, this is like in principle very cool. Okay, I successfully deleted it, and I can tell something's happening. That's good. So I just noticed that I've got some tiling here, and I'm not quite sure about my Windows management, maximizing, etc. There we go. So, and again, I can skip, and again, I can see where I am in the process. So this is all really cool. Again, running these commands is as simple as just clicking the blue code and it automatically copies to a real terminal session. So let's just skip. Let's go really quickly to the end. So to me, this is exciting because normally when you have a command line tutorial, you have to be receiving instructions and advice through the command line terminal itself in the form of like print statements or log statements, or you have to have two different windows open. Maybe you have a Chrome open with a tutorial and you're copy pasting stuff from your Chrome window to your terminal. So to just have it in one place all together is really slick, I find. So I'm just going to pause this and run through the rest of the commands so you don't have to look at all these logs. And what was the last command that I ran? Let's see. Okay, so we don't want to do that. Let's do this next one. Okay. I don't have to sign in to publish. I mean, I would have to sign in to publish, but I don't want to publish. I just want to see what it is that I've created. So this should be pretty easy. They have a list of containers here. Docker tutorial sounds like the right one. Let's start it and open in browser. And here it is. And it's giving me some more feedback on what it was that I just did. And I know it worked because it's displaying on localhost. So this is all really slick. I love it. Now I'm going to show you something slightly less slick and more typical of what I usually encounter, but it's still totally decent. So my client uses Contentful, which is a headless CMS solution. Basically, it lets them control the content in their website or areas of their website. And when I realized they were using it, I got curious. So I wanted to find out, Contentful, do they have a command line interface, and do they have a tutorial for it? This is what I Googled, and what I saw was that if I went to videos, there was an article describing how to get this done. And not an article, an actual video. And to me, this video was a sign that they must be serious about their developer audience, because Bits and Bytes kind of developer oriented, title, developer relations. They've got an actual person talking to the screen, which I feel is sort of typical of DevRel content. You know, like you have some content channel where there's a real person with a real name, not just doing a screen recording, but like talking to you directly. So like in a personable approach. So right there, that tells me, okay, they are probably serious about their developer relations. And when I like briefly looked at his tutorial, he got into the command line, and I could see that there's going to be an interactive guide in the command line. So I was like, all right, let's try downloading this client and see if we can find this. So I'll show you what I did next, which is I just downloaded the client and created, I didn't go from the video because like I don't always watch videos all the way through, which I'm sure is true of many people. I just started with installation of this interface, but here's the tricky thing. I don't want to go see the source. What immediately happened, which you can see in my terminal history, is that I got a little bit sidetracked. So I installed the Contentful command line interface, and then I was following directions. Like there was no prompt for me within the command line itself. So I started just kind of going through the guides that I could find online. So already I'm into like window switching. So the first thing I realize is that I have to create an account in order to try this out, which bummer, like Docker desktop let me do with that without creating an account. And I get that there's, authentication involved, and different companies have different strategies about how painless or painful they make this sign-up process. But I found Contentful, too full of content in terms of how much information they were asking from me to create an account. Like all of these fields are mandatory. No, what? So, some background here is that if you're a SaaS company and you're really optimizing for sort of small self-serve clients, then you would not nearly have this many fields. Like, especially you'd make sure that these sort of metadata things were optional, and you could ask for them for their password after they've created the account through an email prompt or by hiding settings until they create a password. There's all sorts of things you could do to minimize this. And sometimes that doesn't matter to companies. They're not into aggressive sign-up optimization because maybe they serve like really large enterprise clients and their SaaS sales team is on it. So I guess what this maybe tells me is like if they're aiming for self-serve developers, this is not really optimized. Anyway, I signed up for an account using a throwaway, I think I used like send drop mail or something like that. This is just a way to create temporary emails, which I use when I'm trying to recreate an onboarding experience, but I've already signed up for the service, so I'll create a disposable email. Drop mail is one. There's plenty of others. So, okay, this is the sort of thing I was talking about where you've got these print statements. I mean, this is pretty, but you are using print statements within the terminal to walk through the process, and it's a prompted process, yes, no type stuff, and you can tell already, like, you won't be able to easily go back if you make a mistake in the steps the way you could have with Docker Desktop. So they're going to make me log in. This is cool because I think that they're making getting my authentication token quite simple. I don't have to go hunting around in some applications, settings, windows to find what it is that I was looking for. So why can't I paste it? I thought that I pasted it, but I did not. Input is hidden. Well, I assume I did. Create my new space. Okay, see, this is nice. They're giving me step numbers, but they're not really telling me how many steps are total. But it's nice that this is going to be walking me through with little more than just prompts, which is easy and fun. I do create it. I have a feeling I'm going to run into a problem. I might have already created this space when I was first poking around. No, worked. Okay. Oh, no, forbidden. Yeah. So exceeded your plan limitations. I bet what's going on here is that I already created this space a while ago, just before making this video. So that's fine, but you get the basic idea that I'm running through a relatively quite nice command line tutorial that will launch browser windows for me, will tell me what I'm doing at every step, but still not require too much coding of me to get up and running. But if I run into an error, it's not very recoverable. I have to switch windows around to find it. I can easily lose the thread of where I am. These are just the limitations of creating something within the terminal itself. So even though I think this is a wonderful example of it, I was very excited to see Docker Desktop's approach.